What's up guys, this is OmegaLiar, and today I'm bringing you 3 very nice stock laps. But before I get too far into the video, can I just ask you to like the video or comment with the cars you might want to see in the future. But now, let's talk about the Nissan GTR Spec B. I've done this car upgraded before, but I haven't done it stock, and I guess it was probably a good thing to do, because as I'm sure most of you know, the GTR is a lap time car. It pulls unbelievable times around the Nürburgring. It shuts down most of the high-priced hypercars, and it only costs somewhere in the $90,000 to $120,000 range. So it really is kind of ridiculous. On top of that, it takes a jab at the Bugatti Veyron with its acceleration time, because if you have the right car under the right conditions, they both go 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds. So the Nissan GTR really has a lot going for it. And on Top Gear, it pulled an unbelievable time, first of 119.8, I believe, and then the second time in 2012, it pulled a 117.6. Now, the time I was able to pull here actually falls a little bit in between the two. I am using the Spec V, which I believe is 2011. You can check me on that. If it's 2012, then I am a little bit slower, but if not, it's a little bit faster. But the thing is, the four-wheel drive in this car makes it fairly easy to drive, but it does give you a little bit of understeer in the turns. So you have to know how to approach the turns. Sometimes it's a good idea to put in a little bit of opposite lock while you try and drift it a little bit, because you want to be able to face the right way, and then the four-wheel drive will do the rest. So yeah, pretty nice time from a pretty cool-looking car from the back at least, but let's see what it's competing against. This is the Audi R8 V10. So it's got a Lamborghini V10 in the back, and it's just an amazing looking car. It's one of my favorite looking supercars up to date, whether it be this model or the newer model for 2013. It sounds unbelievable. It's just, in my opinion, I think it's just great. Now, in sort of an unconventional fashion, despite the fact that this car does run four-wheel drive, it has sort of interesting handling characteristics. And what I mean by that is it does get oversteer a lot, which you don't generally get, at least in the game. Real life it varies, but at least you don't really get that in the game. But you'll see it does every now and then snap a little bit. I try to keep it as under control as possible, because obviously if you're under control, you're going to get a faster lap time. But there's only so much you can really do. I actually have another lap of the Audi R8 that's fully upgraded to compete with the LMS, or Le Mans Series Audi R8 version. And what happens is when I gave it that much power, it really starts to oversteer, and it sort of becomes unmanageable. But I think if you sort of stick to the tuning that it's got, I mean, obviously there's small things that you can change, but as far as power output, it's pretty good. Stick to handling, upgrading the handling. The four-wheel drive will definitely help you out in that aspect. But as you can see, I was able to pull a 120.3, which is actually a second faster than the lap time it got on Top Gear. But I do have to mention the time it got on Top Gear was a slightly damp lap. Now, the last car I have lined up for you today is the Lamborghini Gallardo. And, I mean, for one, this is basically an older version of the Audi R8. It's got the same engine, it's got a lot of similar interior design, there's a lot of things shared. But the Audi R8 has an upgraded engine. It generates more power, it's got a different gearbox, so it accelerates faster. But I did want to see how the Lamborghini would compare to the Audi, because when they tested this particular Lamborghini on Top Gear, they tested it under an extremely wet situation. So I wanted to get a better idea, and considering that my lap times have been fairly consistent to the Stigs in the past, I thought this would be a good idea. So, the Lamborghini Gallardo basically stands as my favorite it's not my favorite per se, but it's been up there for a long time. There's a few reasons for that. It is a little bit over the top, yes. It does make a kind of amazing sound, yes. But it's not that expensive for what it looks and what it performs at. It costs around $100,000, but you cannot get something as good looking for $100,000. You might argue the Ferrari F430, but I would disagree. I think this car has a much better styling than the F430. And on top of that, it's got a much better noise. And now, Jeremy Clarkson himself did say that the car is a little bit sort of boring, but I don't think you could really be that bored if you're in a Lamborghini Gallardo. So, as far as handling, there's not too much really to say. It's pretty much the Audi, except a little bit worse. But if you like this video, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next commentary. As always, thank you for watching, and that's about it. So, peace out. Hope you enjoyed the cars.